Hey guys, welcome to Big W Barbecue. My name is Nate. Today we're going to be smoking up a beef pot roast. Hey guys, thanks so much for hanging out with me here today. If this is your first time watching one of my videos, a special welcome to you. Here on this channel you will find recipes as well as tips and tricks that will hopefully help your time out of the grill go just a little bit smoother. I hope you'll stick around for a little bit. So let's go ahead and get right into this cook. So I don't know about you guys, but when I think of home-style cooking, one of the first things that comes to mind is a beef pot roast. There's something fantastic about the beef, the potatoes, carrots, all those vegetables combined together. If you've never had a smoked version of this, I have a good feeling that you're really going to like this recipe. So what I've got here is about a 2.5 pound chuck roast. I went ahead and let this sit out at room temp for about an hour just to kind of rise the internal temperature up closer to room temp. So there are a lot of different cuts of roast that you can pick out. I would like the chuck roast personally just because of the marbling and the fat content in it. Since we're going to be cooking this low and slow for a long time, it's going to break down, providing a tender and juicy finished product. So instead of putting this roast here in a slow cooker like we would with the traditional cooking method, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put this out on the smoker for about an hour. What we're going to do here is we're trying just to kind of get a nice crust on the outside, as well as we're trying to give a little bit of a smoke flavor to it. After about an hour, we're going to go ahead and bring that back inside. We're going to add it to a tin foil pan, fill it up with some beef broth, some potatoes, some onions, and some carrots. Then we're going to go ahead, take that back out to the grill, and we're going to let it cook there for another few hours. What that's going to do is it's going to slowly break down over time, and I think we're going to have a great, awesome roast here at the end. Let's go ahead and get right into preparing this roast. So like with any other beef product, I'm a real big fan of using kosher salt and black pepper. The salt and pepper just do an excellent job of enhancing the beef flavor. If you prefer, you can go ahead and use your favorite rub, but I like to just keep it simple. We're going to use salt and pepper. So we're going to go ahead and give that a really good coating here. And then we're going to go ahead and add some black pepper here. Then you'll want to flip your roast around and cover the other side with salt and pepper as well. Fantastic. So now that we've got that here, we're going to go ahead and get the smoker ready. Go ahead and let this hang out for a little bit longer. Go ahead and let that salt kind of work its way into the meat. What we're going to do here out here on the smoker, I'm going to be smoking out with my Weber Smoky Mountain. I'm going to be using hickory wood today, and something different I'm not going to put in my water pan. Reason being is this is only going to be out here for an hour, kind of getting all the smoke flavor there. So I want a direct smoke from the coals up to the meat. So I'm going to go ahead and try that today. Now an alternative, if you're a big fan of having a sear on the outside, is you can go ahead and heat up a frying pan on the stove and go ahead and sear each side. However, I'm going to go ahead and keep this simple, and we're just going to do everything out on the smoker today. So kind of help give that sear on the outside, I'm going to go ahead and have a little bit higher of a pit temperature, probably around 275, 300 degrees for that first hour. Once that first hour is up, we're going to go ahead and bring this back inside, and that's when we're going to move to the traditional pot roast with the vegetables and the beef broth. But we'll talk about that once we get there, so let's go ahead and get that smoker ready. After about 30 minutes, we're going to go ahead and flip this roast over. As you can see here, we've got a nice sear already, which is looking great. We're back inside now. I've got the roast sitting here in front of me. I went ahead and moved it to a tin foil pan here. You can tell here it's a deep dish pan, probably a couple inches. And the idea here is what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and add some liquid as well as our veggies to this beef roast. I do want to make a quick comment here. Now, depending on how big of roast you have here, again, this is about 2.5 pounds. If you've got 3-4 pound roast there, you may want to go ahead, let this soak in the juice out on the grill for an hour or so before adding the vegetables. Now this is kind of a personal preference here, and some people like their vegetables done a little differently. I like mine to be done, but yet not completely mushy. So that's just my personal preference, but I just wanted to point that out. Since I've got a little bit smaller of a roast, I'm going to go ahead and add the vegetables at the same time here for this next step. The great thing about a beef pot roast is that you can go ahead and add whatever vegetables that you want. Today I'm just going to be doing potatoes, onions, carrots. I got a little bit of garlic in here, but that's just for flavor. But other options could be celery, mushrooms, those are also good ones. Pretty much any vegetable here will kind of enhance that flavor. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and grab some potatoes. Then we're going to go ahead and add a few carrots. Cooked carrots are personally my favorite, so I'm not going to shy away from those. Then we went ahead and cut up a sweet onion. I just went ahead and quartered that. And then I went ahead and chopped up a clove of garlic. Then from there, I've got about 1.5 cups of beef broth. And then I'm gonna go ahead and add about 1 cup of water. So now determining how much liquid you want to put in here, you want to be about half of the roast, give or take. This roast here is going to continue to lose liquid as it cooks, so that's going to add to it, but you don't want it to be fully submerged. All right, then from here we're going to go ahead and wrap tinfoil around the outside, and it's going to be out on the smoker here for another couple hours. So I'm not necessarily going to any particular internal temperature on the roast. I'm just kind of look at it after a couple hours, kind of see what the tenderness is. I want it to be fork tender. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and check it out after a little while, but otherwise we're just going to let this hang out on the smoker and do its thing. So I ended up leaving this on the grill for an additional 2.5 hours. I originally thought it was only going to take about 2 hours, but when I kind of felt kind of the roast as well as the vegetables, it felt like it needed just a little bit longer there. So I went ahead and kept it on for another half hour. But now I think we're looking really good. It's got a great smell here. The vegetables seem like they're nice and tender, as well as the roast. So let's go ahead and start tearing this apart. So there's a couple ways you can do this here. You can go ahead and use a steak knife if you'd like to kind of portion it out, or you can go ahead and use a couple forks, and we're just going to go ahead and kind of pull things apart. I'm going to go ahead and start with the knife here first. All right, let's go ahead and let's try this. I think we got a really strong beef flavor there, which is fantastic. It's nice and juicy, tender. Yeah, this is a pretty good roast right here. Let's go ahead and try some potatoes and carrots. Okay, those potatoes are really good. They're nice and tender. Taste that little bit of that beef flavor there from kind of soaking in there with that meat. If you're a fan of pot roast and you've never had a smoked version of this, you've definitely got to try it. I mean, it's got the great flavor from the traditional roast with that extra smoke taste, and yeah, it just all blends together very nicely. Hey guys, thanks so much for hanging out with me here today. Hope you've enjoyed this home style cook today. I hope that the next time you get together with your family and friends and you're looking for a pot roast, that you'll give this recipe a try. Take care guys, and I'll see you in the next video.